What's up guys, Kenny G here coming at you with another video. Today we're going to be talking about The Last of Us 2, specifically the ending. So obviously this is spoiler heavy, so I invite you guys to vamos, get away from this video if you don't want to be spoiled. Because we're going to be talking about the spoilers of the end of, well, specifically mostly the ending. We're not going to like go through every story beat because I don't want to go through all that. It's going to take hours. The game's like 25 hours long. There's a lot that happens. We'll focus mostly on the ending, maybe a little on the beginning, but yeah, spoilers. So guys, with that out of the way, let's just kind of get into it, alright? So what did you guys all think of the ending? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments below if you've beaten it already. Maybe you're one of the people who have sworn off buying it. I mean, that was kind of my feeling after I heard about the leaks. But after getting through the ending, I'll tell you, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. The story is a little simplistic, I'll give it that. Specifically, it's just a revenge story. You know, everyone's trying to get revenge. Abby's trying to get revenge on Joel. Ellie's trying to get revenge on Abby. Everyone loses something by the end of the game, right? So it ends the worst for Ellie, obviously, right? Well, I guess you could say it ends the worst for Joel because he's not alive. But you got to think about back to the previous game, what Joel did at the end of the game. Honestly, when I think of The Last of Us, I never thought it was a game that needed a sequel. I never thought it ever needed a sequel. And even after completing this game, I still don't think it needed a sequel. There was no reason to make a sequel because the first one was perfect. It was perfect and left it on this eerie kind of feeling of, did we do the right thing? Right? At the end of the first game, when Joel rescues Ellie, if you don't know, I assume everyone who's watching the video knows, but at the end of the first game, the whole point of the first game is you're escorting this girl in a zombie pandemic, basically, or a post-apocalyptic zombie apocalypse type thing. You're taking this girl who's immune to becoming a zombie, basically, and you're taking her to this place so they can develop a vaccine. And then when you get there, it's revealed that in order to create the vaccine, they're going to have to kill her. And Joel's developed a lot of feelings, especially because he had a daughter who died when the initial apocalypse went down, and then he kind of came to feel like Ellie was like his daughter in a way, and grew really close to her. And so when they revealed that they had to kill her, well, Joel goes on a mad rampage through this hospital where they're going to perform the surgery that's going to kill her and create the vaccine. He goes on a mad rampage to rescue her, rescues her, and at the end of the game, you're left wondering, well, did we do the right thing? Did we do the right thing by saving this girl, but dooming maybe the entire human race? So that brings us to this game, Last of Us 2. Like I said, I still don't feel the game was necessary even after completing it. It really ruins the first game in a lot of ways to tell a revenge story, to basically bash you over the head to tell you that revenge is bad. But let's take that and put it to the side because it is what it is. If the best way to preserve your memories of The Last of Us 1 is to just never play Last of Us 2, because never play it. Don't even go watch the videos because it'll just taint your feelings of Last of Us 2. So let's acknowledge that because that's 100% fact, and then move forward, right? So obviously, if you've read the leaks or maybe you haven't and you're just here to have a discussion, the game basically opens with like jumping between Abby's group, which is kind of encroaching in on where Joel is, and Ellie's group, which is like out on patrol. Joel ends up rescuing Abby and then falling back to like Abby's hideout, and then Abby's group kills him. Abby's group kills him in front of Ellie. And Ellie then goes on like revenge. Now that was Abby's revenge because her father was one of the doctors that got killed by Joel at the hospital in the previous game, right? So then we've got Ellie, who now is going to set off on a revenge journey against Abby for killing Joel. And the whole point is basically to illustrate to you that revenge never ends well, right? It never ends well. And so everyone who's seeked revenge has ended up screwed over themselves. So by the end of the game, now let's just jump forward to the end of the game. I mean, you guys can watch all the videos if you want to see the entire plot, or we can make a longer video if you want to like discuss all the plot points. But by the end of the game, Abby is strung up basically on like almost like a cross, being starved to death, and Ellie has finally tracked her down for the final time, and she has the opportunity to kill her, but then she opts not to kill her and allows her to basically take this boy that Abby's working with throughout like the entire game, and bring him to this boat. They both get to, there's two boats sitting there. Okay, so they get to the boats. Abby loads her friend onto the boat. Then they're both gonna board different boats and go their separate ways. And then Ellie kind of insists that they're gonna have one last showdown. They've already had a showdown earlier in the game. Now, Abby refuses. Ellie insists that there must be a showdown, kind of as like this is gonna settle things once and for all. And Ellie ends up winning the fight. Ellie ends up beating Abby, and kind of like starts to drown her, and then feels guilty, or she has some flash of Joel, and she releases Abby, and then just says get out of here, and lets Abby leave with her friend, right? But during that fight, somehow it's kind of weird. Ellie gets like her fingers inside Abby's mouth, and Abby, being like the She-Hulk she is, like bites off Ellie's two what are these, like the pinky finger and the one next to it, and yeah, takes off like the first parts of those two fingers, and yeah, that's sort of it. Then it jumps forward in time, and Ellie is returning to the home where Dina was, and what happens is essentially Dina's gone, and Ellie's lost everything for revenge, basically. And the final thing that's supposed to like give you like Dina's gone, and so she's lost Dina, and then the last, obviously Joel's dead, but it's shown at near the very beginning of the game that Joel teaches Ellie how to play guitar, and then you play guitar a few times throughout the game, and then it finally ends with like Ellie picks up the guitar to play the guitar, but she can't play it because she's missing these two tips of her fingers, so she can't like strum it properly. Well, not strum it, what's it called, working the top of the guitar? I don't know music terms, I'm sorry. But yeah, essentially what it's trying to highlight is revenge ended up, biting her in the ass, essentially, right? Biting her fingers literally right off, right? So, I mean, it's kind of shitty that The Last of Us 2 completely ruins Last of Us 1 because Joel was such an awesome character, and in this game they kind of shit all over him. They still show him as a good character, at least in some degree. Like, he rescues Abby and willingly helps her, and then she turns around and kills him. The fact that she kills him without even knowing who he really is, because he just identifies himself as Joel, and that's enough for her to kill him, when there could be many people named Joel living in like this little settlement that Joel is part of, right? So obviously she kills Joel, and thus the whole start of the game, right? But yeah, I don't know what to say about that, other than to say it was kind of a crappy revenge story. It's not terrible. It hammers home the fact that revenge is a bad thing and that you're gonna end up getting bit in the ass, or in this case, bit in the fingers. But yeah, it's sad. It's sad that it ruins the first game. But it's not a terrible ending, because Ellie, I honestly thought was gonna die, and she doesn't die, she survives, so at least there's that. Obviously, we know that Abby also survives, and that's obviously so they can have a third game. What they're going to do with the third game, I don't know. When I heard the leaks initially, they were saying that Abby, or not Abby, Ellie died in this game, and I was like, okay, F that noise. If both Joel and Ellie die, I'm going to be super pissed. I kind of expected Joel to die, and I think most of the fandom kind of expected Joel to die because he did a very questionable thing at the end of the first game. And on top of that, they needed shock factor. They wanted to have shock factor. They couldn't have like a gritty, realistic game and be like, everyone just turns out happily ever after. Like, that's not the point of the game. The point of the game, point even of the first game, is to make you be like, whoa, like, what these people will do to stay alive is gruesome and brutal, and question your values, right? And question your values about why did Joel do what he did? Was it the right thing to do? If that was you, would you do that in the first game? And this game ruins all that, but basically it's all done to hammer home the message about revenge is bad. Now, take from that what you want. I think most of us know revenge is bad, and we don't need Naughty Dog to teach us a lesson. But that all being said, I don't think the ending was terrible. Like, the entire game was not great. It's probably a 7 out of 10. The gameplay is literally the gameplay from the last game, plus jump, crouch, and run and jump, basically. Or swing on ropes, I guess. Like, there's really not much that's different. So, I mean, from that point, if you enjoyed the first game's gameplay and you want to have 25 hours of it, then yeah, you're probably going to enjoy the gameplay. The story, it's a mixed bag. There are good parts, there are bad parts. The ending, I don't think, is terrible. Some people will think it's terrible, but I think they could not allow Ellie to literally go and have her revenge, killing Abby, and not, you know, losing fingers or having some repercussions for her revenge. And she killed a lot of people to get up to that point. I mean, she kills a crap ton of people to get up to the point to have her revenge, and then to not take it seemed a little far-fetched. You know, I think in that case she would have, like, a real human would have probably, if they've gone to that extent, the amount of people Ellie had to kill to get her revenge, I'm sure she would have just went through with it, not had like some flash of Joel on the ground bleeding out and be like, oh, you know what, on second thought, it's cool. But yeah, I mean, it's sad it ruins the first game. The second game sort of brings the circle to a close, though, on the whole revenge thing, because Abby is probably going to move on, and Ellie's probably going to move on, and if there ever is a third game, which I sort of doubt, but if there is a third game, it's probably going to focus just on Abby and not on Ellie at all. It's just going to be just an Abby story. That's what I'm guessing, at least, right? I mean, maybe it'll be another Ellie story, but I kind of doubt that. We'll have to wait and see. Anyways, guys, that's really all I have to say for the time being. If you're interested in more about what I have to say, let me know in the comments, and maybe we can do a longer video. I'm putting this up on launch day of the game because Naughty Dog has been naughty and striking people's videos, so I'm not making this video live until that point. It's late at night. I'm filming late at night, so that's why it's dark in here. Anyways, we'll see you in the next video. If you liked the video, maybe smash like. I'd really appreciate that. If you didn't like the video for some reason, sorry about that. You can hit thumbs down, I guess. And if you really appreciate what we're doing here, make sure to hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
Hey guys, this is Lydia. If you like what you see, hit that like button as it helps our channel gain exposure. Also consider smashing subscribe. If you like our content, it would really mean a lot and helps our channel grow. If you want to interact with us, leave a comment down below or follow us on Twitch at super_dorkalicious. We'll see you next time.